So if you have been, unless you've been living under a quartz crystal or a really big rock, I'm sure you have heard nervous system regulation, right? It's like, it's a buzzword. It's a buzzword now. Just like after the movie The Secret, law of attraction was a buzzword. These things have been around for many, many years. I started talking about the nervous system and stored energy in our body in my book, Mind Over Matter, like what, 8 years ago. But it's really caught on now. It's really caught on. And guess what? Energy healers have been talking about it for hundreds of years. So it's not anything new. But I want to explain how, from a quantum physics and metaphysical perspective and a physical perspective, how your nervous system could be keeping you from whatever it is you want to attract. And I'm going to use most of my clients, the lion's share of my clients come to me because they want to earn more money or attract more clients. I have a small percentage that come to me because they want to work on health issues. And I want to be really clear that I am not a medical doctor. I only provide energetic and psychological and spiritual support. Okay? So, with that said, first we're going to have a little experiment, or I'm going to give you a demonstration. You probably aren't going to be able to hear or see it, so I'm just going to explain it to you. Now, if you're a musician, or if you've ever taken a music class or been to a music store, I'm sure you have seen a tuning fork on a block of wood. It's used because it helps tune guitars, other tuning forks, pianos. It's a tuning fork, right? It's been used in the music industry for many, many years. If I have, this is a 144 hertz, and this is a 174. But let's just say hypothetically, I beat this one, and I don't do anything with this one. After a bit of time, the other one will start resonating if they are harmonic. If they are on a similar wave pattern. Now, if I beat a drum and then I beat this, would it both go to this, or would it both go to the drum? What's the most chaotic is it's going to break up the harmony. Does that make sense? Kind of, not really. I'm not a musician. Anyway, if this is you and you are putting out your own vibration, which you are, you're vibrating out, and this is wealth. I'm just going to use abundance as an example. And abundance has its own wave and vibration. But if these two aren't a match, this one's not going to come up here and change this. Does that make sense? They have to resonate. Okay. With that said, what is keeping you, because you are an antenna, like, make no mistake about it, you are a tuning fork. What is keeping you from vibrating at the same level as the wealth that you want to attract? And the answer is your nervous system. The answer is your energy field. And so I'm going to address this because it's so important when people are advertising all over, fix your nervous system in 10 minutes, or get your chakras cleaned and shined for $20, or join this coaching program for $20,000. I'm a coach, so I'm all about people who want coaching, but I'm also extremely transparent in saying that you have to do it yourself. As a coach, my job is to guide you and to support you, to teach you, and to reflect back to you. Because, see, we don't see our own blind spots. That's what coaching really should be. Coaching is not like, join this program and do what it says and you'll be, a millionaire next week. That's not how it works. You have to change. You have to raise your frequency. A good coach or a good teacher or a good mentor is just there to help you get there and to help you maintain that. Okay? And there's got to be some healing involved. So let's talk about nervous systems and why it is keeping you from your wealth. What's really interesting to understand, and you'll hear me say this, or if you read my books, you'll know I say this all the time, and that is that human intention is the strongest, the most powerful force on earth. I do not care how big a bulldozer is or how powerful a computer is. Human intention by far is the most powerful force on earth. How else do you think Jesus walked on water or made water into wine? Human intention, because his channel was clear and he resonated at the same frequency as the miracle he wanted to create. Do you get that? So what's keeping you from your wealth is that you are not resonating at that level. And the reason you're not doesn't mean you need mindset work, doesn't mean you need 10 years of therapy. It means that you're resisting. So when a vibration, when a field is open and clear, it can radiate, it broadcasts out, and it attracts other fields. When your nervous system is constricted, really tight, it's going to repel fields that are at a higher vibration. So let's get down to the basics now. What do we do? What do we do? Well, we have to relax our nervous system. We have to heal it. And if you know anything about nervous systems, I'll just give you a really quick 1, 2, 3. The autonomic nervous system, your nervous system, is broken up into 2 branches. One is the parasympathetic, and one is the sympathetic. People who have endured post-traumatic stress syndrome, people who maybe have ADHD, people who have lived in a lot of stress, people who live in stressful environments, who work in stressful environments, people who have had trauma, people who have had negative programming and conditioning, people who are surrounded by 5G and electro pollution. Okay, there's a lot of these kind of people, like 90% of the planet, right? Sorry. Those people end up living more in sympathetic nervous system than they do in their parasympathetic. So parasympathetic is also known as rest and digest. It's when you're digesting your food, you're relaxing, your brain waves are like at an alpha level, maybe a theta. Life is good, you know, let's watch some Netflix. That's parasympathetic. When you are in sympathetic nervous system, it's called fight or flight. And all of the energy in your body is expended into your arms and legs so that you can run or so that you can fight. Not much digestion going on. So guess why nervous system dysregulation has a lot of people with irritable bowel syndrome, ulcers, heart disease, right? Because our bodies are not functioning. And if you're not in parasympathetic when you go to bed at night or when you're sleeping through the night, you're not sleeping through the night. You're supposed to be resting and digesting, but you're up at 3 in the morning going, oh my God, how am I going to pay that bill? What if this client gets mad at me? That is not rest and digest, and that's what we need to do. So, a couple things. One, we have to get the trauma out. Trauma gets stuck, and I believe, and in my new book I talk about this, I believe it is in our cells, and in our water supply, which is our molecules are 99.9% water, our molecules. So we have 52 trillion cells, and they're all water. And I believe, which I'll talk about in the new book more, and I'll do a video on it later, but I believe that that is what we're bathing in, and that is the conductor. Water conducts energy, right? And we're electric, and we're magnetic, and water is the carrier. So this gets stuck in our water. It gets stuck in our meridians, and trauma gets stuck in our fascia. So you have all this trauma stuck in your body in little packets, if you will. And it's not surprising to me that when people have health issues, whatever health issue it is, whatever body part it pertains to, is usually spot on with the chakra. So like scarcity issues are definitely root chakra. You've had instability, you've had trauma, sexual abuse, second second chakra. Heart, like heart disease, heart attack, heart arrhythmias, love, loss of love, sadness, right? So we want to get the trauma out. One of the things I do in my coaching program is I have a live for all my coaches or all my clients. They can come to a private, it's unlisted, but it's a private YouTube live every Friday that I do. And we just tap it out, we yell it out. They're behind a camera and I don't see them because it's alive and it's one way, kind of like this. But I show them, let's get this out. You know, and I'm getting more and more aggressive with it because you got to get it out of your body. So expressing trauma in a way that is safe is very smart. Another thing you see people doing is somatic healing. Now, somatic healing is great, but you don't need to go pay a lot of money to do it. Somatic healing is really, if you want to know the truth, I'm going to tell you the truth. There's going to be people that get mad if they see this. But somatic healing is just bringing you back into your body. It's saying, okay, let's move. We're moving. What we're really doing is we're getting back in our body. Because people who have severely dysregulated nervous systems are not in their body. They're up here. What am I going to do next? I got to do this. Help, help, help. What am I doing? What's going on? Help. You got to get back into your body. Back into your body. And that's why breathing exercises, it's so funny because a lot of people hate breath work. Like in all my coaching programs, like literally all my coaching programs, even for my real estate agents in magnetic marketing, I have breathing exercises in the modules. Nobody likes to do it. Why? Because they're so dysregulated that the idea of breathing is boring. And how funny does that sound? Breathing is boring. Okay, well, try not to do it. You're going to die, right? But that's how important it is. And that's how much we avoid it. Why do we avoid it? Because we have to get into our body. So think about that. So we've talked about expressing trauma. I've talked about breath work. And I do a lot of EFT to get it out. What are some other things you can do? You can ground yourself. Now, I am a big fan, and they have really what I consider to be inexpensive versions of grounding mats now. 10 years ago or 5 years ago, when I got my PEMF mat, which I'm a big fan of, I sell it on my website. Go to tamaradorris.com if you want to buy it. They are not cheap, but like the one I have, if you can see it in the chair behind me, this is a one for chair, and I think it's like $500. The one that you lay down on, that's an amethyst, that has PEMF and infrared, the big McCoy is like $1,800, but you can get them as low as $500. And you can get grounding mats, which I don't sell, but you can get grounding mats for like $100. A grounding mat basically is the same thing as going outside in the dirt barefoot and doing it for an extended period of time. Now, a lot of people walk in the grass and they think they're grounding, and it's okay, and it's somewhat grounding, but it's the earth itself. So the grass kind of is a little bit of a shield. So going where there's large bodies of water, and and this goes into the water science, but because you are water, so being near water, that's why it's so invigorating for you, because you are water, right? But when you're walking like along a river or a beach barefooted, lots of negative ions. And in this case, you want negative ions. We are electrical and magnetic, and we're full of positive ions. And so we need the Schumann resonance to come up through our feet to keep our body balanced, especially with all the EMF stuff going on in the 5G. We have to keep balanced. Even if you were raised, in a wonderful environment, not many people were, you have no trauma, no stress, and assuming you're not living up in an ashram somewhere, because that's what I just described, even just being in the environment of 5G could get your nervous system out of whack. Okay, so it's really, really important. And I just want to throw something out there. I mean, this is kind of a free-for-all. You're getting a lot of stuff here. But if EMFs are a thing, there's something called shungite, SHUNGITE. Do research on it. You can buy it now at Google, or excuse me, on Amazon. I used to have to work so hard to get shungite because I had to get it all the way from Russia. And it's not expensive, and they're big, black, ugly stones. Not big, you can get little ones. I use them in my pyramids, in fact. But shungite, I have it in every room because it absorbs negative EMF. It absorbs it, so I keep it near my bed, near my laptop, near my desktop. Stickers on the back of your phone. These are shungite. That helps block it off. Okay, so just want to throw that out there. All of these things are conducive to relaxing your nervous system. Now, another thing I highly recommend is essential oils. I keep scented aromatherapy, especially before I'm getting on a coaching call, definitely. Using a tuning fork. There are different ways you can use tuning forks. You can, one of the things that I do also is I can clear vortexes of energy. People think pendulums are just for yes, no, like a crazy 8-ball. And if you understand the science of dowsing, which it is a science, we can actually make vortexes of energy and do healing work with it. So all of these tools, but listen, you don't need those tools. You just need to get back in your body. So maybe if you're not a really kinesthetic person, like you don't normally dance or do athletics, start doing things like that. Dance, feel your body, just move around and feel it. Get back in your body. It's amazing how many of us don't get in our body and don't breathe. And that's, I mean, that is the key to nervous system regulation. Yeah, getting back in your body. That's so important. And breathing. Those are the two things we don't want to do, but we got to do them. Okay. The other things are eating healthy. You cannot live on fast food and sugar and caffeine and alcohol and think that your nervous system is going to say, okay, fine, you hugged a tree today. And by the way, hugging a tree is very regulating. But you can't do all the woo-woo stuff and then not do the basics. You have to drink good, pure water. Hopefully it's structured water. You have to eat healthy, living foods. You know, slow down, pray before you eat, or bless your food, bless your water. One of the things, in fact, I'm going to show it on a workshop that I'm getting ready to do here today, is take water, and you can't see it, but write words, love, gratitude, joy, and set it out in the sun. Stick a quartz crystal in it and stick it out in the sun for an hour when the sun's out. And that structures your water. And when you drink structured water, you're structuring the water in your body. Okay, these are all things. In my new book, again, it's coming out early summer 2025. So look for it. And if you want to start now, my book, Just Because You Can't See It Doesn't Mean It Isn't There, The Subtle Energy of Intentions and Well-Being. Read this book because I have a little section on water, what we're talking about here, and all the tools that we're talking about. But it's all conducive for you to regulate your nervous system. And a lot of people are like, I don't want to regulate my nervous system. I just want to make more money. And I'm like, well, you're not making money because your nervous system is dysregulated. Do you see how that works? You've got to calm mind, body, spirit. And then we apply the intention and the manifestation magic. And that's been the problem. The movie The Secret came out and the law of attraction, and everyone was like, let me do this, let me do this. But if those people who were practicing it were not in their body to begin with, had not healed past trauma by expressing it and getting it out of the energy field, it's not going to work, because we're back to square one, right? If you want to vibrate at wealth, you have to clear your energy field, and your energy field starts with your body. Okay, so hopefully you found that helpful. If you would like more information, or if you want to talk to me about coaching, or check out any of my programs, or anything, just subscribe and check me out. I'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful day.